The Conservative Party has historically definitely had problems with racism. I mean, if we go back to the late 20th century, we had Enoch Powell give his infamous Rivers of Blood speech, and it's been a very long time since that speech. A lot of work has been being done within the party to really rehabilitate our image with ethnic minorities. And it's always really sad when stories come out like this, because it just shows that there is still, a way to go in this country, not just in the Conservative Party, before we have equality of opportunity for everyone that lives in Britain.
Obviously, all of this just heaps pressure on the beleaguered Prime Minister. The context, of course, to the Islamophobic accusations is that, of course, he's made Islamophobic comments in the past about women wearing hijabs. And the accusation this time is that he's failed to stamp out Islamophobia, even when it's been right to his doorstep. He had a meeting with Nuz.
Yes, he did have a meeting with Nuz. I mean, every Conservative MP that has come out on Twitter, well, pretty much every Conservative MP that has come out on Twitter, has said that they're appalled by the allegations, and I'm appalled by the allegations, that there's no place for racism and discrimination in the Conservative Party. And I'm really sad that Nuz felt like she had to resort to this. It's really important to say, Isabel, that Nuz is a fantastic and valued Conservative MP, and we need to get to the bottom of this as quickly as possible, establish the facts and find a positive way forward. It's important to note as well that actually the allegations have been denied by Mark Spencer and they've been described as defamatory, which just reinforces my point that we need to get to the bottom of this as quickly as possible, whether or not that is through Nuz making a complaint, whether or not that's through some other form of inquiry. We just need to get to the bottom of it as quickly as possible and find out what's gone on and we'll move forwards together.
There is a procedure, there is a system in existence which the Prime Minister referred her to. Why do you think she wasn't happy to go through that procedure?
So Nuz actually brought out a statement yesterday after the story broke in the Times, where she basically said in the statement that she felt that the Conservative Party complaints procedure was inappropriate for this particular complaint, because she wasn't sure whether or not the person or persons who said this about her were members of the Conservative Party, and she felt that this was really a complaint of government business.
Tell me, as you understand it, what was said to her, the story as you understand it, because I think that is the crux of all of this, that people want to get their heads around how discriminatory they believe this to be.
As I understand it, it's alleged that Nuz heard from someone in Number 10 that she was fired from her junior ministerial position in 2010 because there were members of staff who felt uncomfortable, I think this was a quote, with her Muslimness, and that the Conservative Party had no problem with institutional Islamophobia, and that she heard a monologue and she felt this was all very inappropriate, and those are the allegations that she's made against Number 10.
How much of a problem is this going to be for the Prime Minister, who's already batting off huge criticism, as we know, about Partygate, and this week will be a make-or-break week for him in terms of the Sue Gray report as well?
I think the last thing the Prime Minister needed over the weekend was another story to come out, which shone him and his operation at Number 10 in a bad light. I don't think it's in any denial that this story does exactly that. You're absolutely right to say this is going to be a very difficult week for the Prime Minister, with the Sue Gray report coming out at some point this week. I would probably guess that's not going to come out before Prime Minister's questions, so I would imagine Thursday or Friday, because of course he has control over when that report comes out. So it's going to be a very difficult week, and this story about Nuz Ghani's allegations about being fired because of her Muslimness has not helped the Prime Minister at all.